says we're live on here.
All right. Good
Don't
evening.
see it on my phone yet, but I'll keep looking, so we'll start them.
How's it going?
I hope all is well in Facebook land. Yes, we're on.
Yay.
We were trying to fix the funky intro from last video.
So here we are.
Wednesday again.
I know. It seems like we just did this.
I know. Maybe because of class on Saturday. It feels like we're on Zoom all the time.
Yeah, we're busy little childbirth education bees. All right.
Okay, we're quirky.
What's that?
We're quirky tonight.
Oh, I know. We're punchy. So
because I'm in a cloud.
I am Amy Moy, and I am
sorry.
I'm a Cornerstone certified childbirth doula and childbirth educator. Yes, that is what I am tonight and every night. My business is Riverbend Birth Services. And you can reach me on Facebook at Riverbend Birth Services. You can reach me on Instagram at Sacramento Doula. And Jen's going to tell you all about herself now.
Do you want to share your website?
Oh, I could share my website. Oh, it's just one of those nights. You know what the problem is? I can't see myself right now.
Oh.
And so I'm all discombobulated. But my website, thank you, Jen, is riverbendbirthservices.com.
Fabulous. And I am Jen Kelly, quirky as always. My business is Belly to Bliss Birth Services. I am a trained birth doula and trained Cornerstone childbirth educator. And you can find me on Facebook at Belly to Bliss Birth Services. And my website is bellytobliss.com.
And together we are Sacramento Cornerstone Childbirth. We teach a really fun, super modern, evidence-based, comprehensive childbirth education class, currently teaching live online due to our current situation. We teach each class series over the course of 4 Saturdays, and we meet from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We have a great time. There's lots of opportunities for practice and filling up your tool belt with all kinds of options for coping measures as the partner, as the birthing person, so that you are ready on the big day. And you can find out more about our classes and get yourselves registered for an upcoming series by going to saccornerstonechildbirth.com. SAC-cornerstonechildbirth.com. Our next series starts on June 6th, and we do still have space. And I forgot to say, this is kind of the most important thing about our class. Our class is suitable for every expectant person. So we teach all families. We teach people who are having their babies all over the place, in their homes, in birth centers, in the hospital. We've never had a planned forest baby, but hey,
you never know, someday.
So our class is suitable for everybody, including all birth options. So, you know, nobody else is in your body but you get to decide what's best for you in terms of the way you have your baby. So we teach to all approaches in terms of natural, medicated, and everything in between.
And suitable for all family types. We want to see everybody. We've seen a lot of different types of families, and it's fantastic. I love when we have a variety.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's pretty cool that we can reach far and wide. This is the silver lining of our current situation, is that since we are live online, we can have people from anywhere that speaks our language that can understand us. So that's quite awesome. And if you are new this week to our live videos, we are currently doing them every week, every Wednesday. So we're just kind of giving out into the world some free, high quality information about pregnancy, birth, postpartum, any other fun facts and tips that come out of our mouth that's not even on our schedule. So we just kind of pick a topic that we think is kind of relevant and interesting, and we kind of dive into that for a little quick video. And we just want to share information. We just want to give forth all the stuff that's floating around in our brains to help you have the most, I don't know, what's the best adjective I can think of? I think most prepared birth as possible. I think that's a good one. And continuing on to some parenthood type stuff, we have a variety of parenting under our belt, so we share some of those little tips and tricks as well. So join us.
All right. And so today we are sharing why teaching a mantra, everything is better out than in, is one of our favorites.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so simple, but even though the concept is simple, we bring inhibition into the birth room, we bring discomfort with bodily fluids for some, and so it can sort of derail the labor process. And we've seen it in the birth room, and we've heard questions about fluids and things in our classes, and so it's just so important to sort of name it and acknowledge that fluids and noises happen in labor. And we want to teach you tonight why everything is better out than in. So before we get started with our 5 things that we encourage you to let out during labor, we're just going to call it like it is for us as birth workers. We love all the fluids. We get excited. We're weirdos. We get excited and very encouraged when our clients are leaking on some level, or we hear certain things. You'll hear little phrases that are sometimes uttered tonight when we share, but we get encouraged because we know that these things connote labor progress and baby is so close to being born. So we want you to just take this for what it is. It's our offering of love this evening and encouragement to get comfortable with the things that might be happening in your body during labor. And if you are able to get there emotionally and mentally, we can never make promises, but we can definitely say that you increase your chances of getting into a deeper, relaxed state. You increase your chances of being able to relax around the discomfort that you might be feeling. You actually may be feeling less discomfort by being open to our mantra. And you probably will shorten your labor to some degree. We can never say you'll have a 6-hour shorter labor, if you do these things. That's not our vibe, but we definitely know that the more you can let go in labor, the shorter your labor usually is. So we are giving you a fair warning now. All the fluids are coming out tonight. So if you're squeamish, you have been warned. But
we hope you stick around though.
I know.
It's important.
It's fun. And we do highly encourage that you share this one with all the people you're planning to have on your support team. We know that specifically in a hospital setting right now, visitors are limited to 1 person. So more than likely, if you have a partner, it will be that person with you in the room. But we also work with lots of single parents. So you may have a friend or another family member that you might want to share this information with so that they can encourage you and support you in the ways that will be really helpful and conducive to a smooth labor.
Totally.
So Jen, you're going to get us started, I think.
Woo, love it. Okay. So before we dive into fluids, the fabulous fluids and sounds of labor, we just want you to know that generally speaking, birthing people have the smoothest labors when they are able to relax. I know, relax around and walk towards the contractions, pressure waves, intensity, all the different adjectives that you can use to describe what's going on in your uterus. I know it sounds a little bit crazy, but we've seen it be so impactful. So when we tighten up around, it's going to be even more discomfort. You're going to feel even more uncomfortable. You're going to maybe have some stress hormones starting to be produced. And little tidbit on that, stress hormones cap off the hormones that we want to be happening. So not a good thing. And so that's why we say this. That's why it's this fabulous mantra that it just came very organically, I think, too, that we just always say everything is better out than in when it comes to labor. Okay, so first one, pee, urine, bladder. So we did do this on our comfort cares, but we're just going to go ahead and go through it one more time because it's very relative to what we're talking about tonight. So a full bladder, that equals more discomfort. Why? Cramping. So when we have a full bladder, it can actually start to cramp when you get that feeling that you have to pee, but you're kind of holding it, and you can get some weird cramping with your bladder. And bladder and uterus are basically fighting for space at this point. And then your baby's head is going to be also in the mix there. So when your bladder is cramping a little bit, it sends weird cramps up to the uterus. What do I mean by that? So I like to personify organs. So sometimes when our bladder is full and it's cramping, it kind of like uterus is going, oh, I'm going to do this too, but it's not conducive to any type of change that's going to happen. It's just irritable cramping, which causes more discomfort. So pee is better out than in. Again, full bladder also can create a speed bump for when your baby's head is nice and low. Again, fighting for space. The more that you can have your bladder nice and empty, the better. So tip, empty your bladder every hour during your labor. Partners, this is all for you. Take your partner to the bathroom every hour especially during active labor and transition, because they're kind of not going to be in the mindset. They're going to be in labor land, so they need that helpful reminder from partners to go head to the potty. So empty that bladder every hour.
Awesome. Okay, so we've got pee taken care of. All right, here's the other one, poo. It happens in labor. You can't control it. If there's any poo in your rectum, once baby's low enough and is rocking on your rectal wall, because your vaginal wall and your rectal wall share space, if baby is there doing that rocking and that molding to fit through and pop up under the pubic bone, anything that's in that cavity is going to come out. And remember how I said we get excited about this stuff? It's true with poo as well. I did not mean for that to rhyme. I did not plan that. Really though, it's a sign that baby is so close to being born. Oftentimes the birthing person doesn't even know that it's happening. Nurses are really, they've got great skills. They just swoop in, take care of it, get it out of the way. If you are laboring in water in a birthing tub, That's what the little fishnet hanging nearby is for. They'll just go in and scoop it right out of the water. You hardly even know that it's going on. It's just something that we don't like to think about happening. Sometimes people feel uncomfortable with their partner knowing this or seeing this or smelling this. But there are a couple of things I forgot to mention, but there are a couple of things that birthing people will often say to trigger a doula to think, okay, baby is coming. This is a really good time to start pushing. We'll hear things like, I need to poo, or baby's coming out the wrong hole. So if you're feeling constant rectal pressure, it's a really good signal that it's a great time to push. Usually baby is what we call at +2 station at that point. But holding in your poo because you're afraid to
do it
in front of other people is only going to cause tension. And anytime we tense around, whether it's emotionally or physically, we're inhibiting the labor process. And we could be triggering stress hormones to come on board because you're not feeling your most relaxed self. So we say when it comes to poo, let it flow. Just let it happen. Embrace that it is a very normal part of the birth process. It's not pleasant for any one of us to think about. And it's also a really good indication that baby is progressing and baby is about to be in your arms.
And you'll have one happy doula if you have a doula. Okay, so moving on up. Number 3, vomit. Nobody likes to vomit, but it can actually be quite helpful. The 2 causes of vomiting is a flood of hormones. So we have these fluctuation of hormones that are going on during labor. And when a big flood is coming in, it usually can cause some nausea going on, and that leads to vomiting. So floods of hormones, it happens. We want all those hormones happening. And it's also your body's response to pain. So when you are in discomfort, I'm going to kind of allude to maybe around transition, when things can get really, really going fast, and sometimes it can be a little bit hard to keep up with that. It can definitely cause that response of being in some discomfort to cause some vomiting. Again, just like the others, if you try to inhibit yourself from vomiting, try to keep yourself from vomiting, you're just creating tension in your body, which again is more discomfort and stress hormones. So try to just let it go. Here's a tip that might be a good reason for you to not try to hold it in. It can actually move your baby down. What? So the physical process of vomiting, that kind of a thing, puts pressure on your baby and actually helps your baby move down. Yay. So it could actually be a great thing. So keep a bowl or emesis bag nearby if you're feeling nauseous, so you can just let it go, let it flow, let it go. I feel like we're in a Frozen movie tonight.
I know. I keep wanting to sing it, but I'm not going to torture our listeners. I am. In this respect, I'm not going to let it flow, Jen. Okay, I get one that sometimes is the hardest to encourage people to let go, and that's tears. So you are making a huge transition if you are an expectant person, and when you are in labor, it's no exception to that rule. You really are transitioning to growing your family by 1 or more. You are becoming a parent maybe for the first time, And it's a huge transition. And I know for me in particular, Jen, I don't know if you have this experience, but I've had previous clients disclose some trauma in their past to me, particularly linked to how they were parented. And I've had a couple of clients say, I'm really worried I'm not going to be a good parent.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I've seen how that concern carries over into labor, and kind of helps slow the process down, because
Yeah.
you know, when they are having an internal struggle and they're not ready to make that leap, your mind is a powerful organ and it can shut labor down or space contractions out if you are afraid or upset on any level. And so, you know, crying is a release. Probably everybody knows that, but we just want to say it again. It's a way to release the feelings, the fears, the thoughts that are not conducive to labor progressing. So, I mean, I've even said to a client in labor, you are going to be such an amazing parent. This baby chose you well. You are the perfect person for this baby. And then you see the tears flow, and then all of a sudden we're ready to push, right?
Ready to go.
Right? So sometimes if you're feeling the tears behind your eyeballs, you know, it's okay to let it go. Nobody's going to think that you are not strong or not capable, you know, are not ready to be a parent, whatever, wherever the tears are coming from. When you let them go, you really will feel better. I mean, we used to sing the song. I'm really going to try not to sing, Jen. But we used to sing the song to our daughter Veronica when she was little. It's all right to cry. Crying lets the sad out of you. It's true. When you're holding on to those tears because you don't want to cry, you don't want to let it go, you're creating more tension, right? We keep coming back to that, creating tension, elongating the labor process, because now you may have stress hormones coming on board. So, you know, sometimes it's just a good cry that will get you to the next phase or stage of labor. And we really just want to encourage you to let that flow. Go ahead,
and
Jen.
support people. You know, sometimes they just need to be told it's okay to let it go. So if you start seeing the welling up of the eyes or anything like that, sometimes just encouraging them to let it go. I did it again. To have that cry, and you know,
and to not be afraid of it.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right, number 5.
It's a good one, Jen.
It's a good one. I love it. Noise. Okay, so this is a biggie. This is one absolute that we can kind of connect to the labor process, and that is that you don't ever tell a person in labor to shh. That little word is so powerful in the most negative way.
Patriarchal.
Yes.
I mean, we can really go there.
We can do a whole bunch, but never, ever do that to somebody that is in labor. I mean, we don't really want to shush people in any other parts, but it is very impactful in labor if you're telling somebody to shush. Shh. Even if in the most gentle way that you think you're doing, save it for the baby, but don't do it for that person who is going through so much emotionally, physically, all the things. It could just halt things if you, because basically with that shush, you're telling them whatever they're doing is not okay. Plain and simple, that it's not right. The noises that they're making are disturbing other people or something like that. You know, just think of why you would shush somebody else, like your child or something like that, is because they're doing something that you don't want them to do or say. So birthing people are going to make all kinds of fabulous noises. Most oftentimes, it's moaning. Moaning sometimes can be hooked on to what sex can sound like, and you don't want to make that person feel uncomfortable for making the noises that they are making. And so think of faces too, not just the shush, but the faces that you can make. And you know what, sometimes they don't even know that they are making these noises, that they're totally involuntary, and that's where we want them to be. That means that they're in labor land. They are not consciously making a noise that, you know, until you tell them to shush, they're not even going to realize that they're doing it. So again, that shush is super powerful because in our society, we are conditioned to not take up a lot of space, to be quiet, and to just be this, just, I don't know, this little statuesque almost thing that's not making any noise, not disturbing anybody, but
Yep. Being polite in the labor room.
Yes. And it's a lot. Labor is a lot. And anything that is going to make anything easier, be it a moan, a groan, an explanative, anything, is so much better out than in. So if you make somebody in labor feel self-conscious for the noises that they're making, you're kind of hurting them in an emotional way to not do what it takes to get through labor and to push a baby out and all this different kinds of things. And there's also some physical things that moaning and these noises can actually be doing to your body. So it's not just, you know, the sound in itself, it's the vibration that it's making. It's the tension release that's happening. When you moan, your voice and your jaw is usually nice and relaxed, which that's what we encourage to be happening. And if your throat is open, that means that the rest of you is more than likely nice and relaxed and open, meaning your pelvic floor, you're not tightening that pelvic floor. Your cervix is dilating nicely. Those vibrations can just be sending all that all the way down and out, like we like to say too. So it just kind of relaxes the muscles around your contracting uterus. It is so many different things that could be happening just with noise. So no shushing allowed. No shushing allowed.
Definitely. Definitely. And the lower, the better.
Oh,
Nice
yeah.
low tones.
Nice, deep,
Definitely.
low tones. Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, and since we went there, I'll do the opposite real quick.
Please do.
We say the nice low tones because that is that kind of connotes relaxation. The higher the tone, kind of more up, kind of is the opposite. And so if we can get the tones lower by helping and by encouraging these noises, the better.
And I want to add one more thing, Jen, just because we're birth nerds and we get excited about this stuff. So at the beginning of our current pandemic situation, Penny Simpkin did a virtual doula training.
Oh.
And she opened my eyes, Jen, to something that I hadn't thought about before. She said, you know, if the birthing person is making a higher pitched sound, but it's rhythmic, then they're still coping. So it was an interesting aha for me, because if there's rhythm happening with it, then she has found a way to cope. So that would be the only caveat in terms of tone. But yes, low tones usually connote relaxation and coping.
I like that. Interesting? That is totally interesting. I love it.
All right. So that's it, guys. Easier said than done, we know. But just to recap, we've talked about how everything is better out than in, everything including pee and poo and vomit and tears and the noises that your body is telling you that you need to be making in order to cope and to bring baby to your arms. So we just would like to invite you to use that mantra to the best of your ability. If it works for you, feel free to make an affirmation card. Everything is better out than in, and hang it up in your birth space.
Oh yeah.
Send us a message after the birth of your baby and let us know how it goes. We'd love to hear that people in our
we love to hear all about your pee and poo and vomit and tears and moaning.
Yeah, she's not kidding. So no, really, we wish you all the best. And Jen's going to tell you how you can learn more about us, but just keep coming back to our lives. We love what we do, and we love to share our knowledge and the information that we have to help people have the best birth that they can have.
Absolutely. So thank you for once again coming and visiting with us over the interwebs. So don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. So we try to post all the videos that we are doing weekly onto YouTube. So they're kind of all nice and in one spot, since we're kind of flipping back and forth from our Instagram and our Facebook. So Sacramento Cornerstone Childbirth, that's where you'll find us. You can visit our website to learn more about our live online childbirth education classes. Get yourself registered. Again, we're starting another one in June 6th, I believe it is. Mm-hmm. And then we'll see you next Wednesday. We're going to be on Instagram. Hopefully, fingers crossed, that Instagram will love us. And we are going to be at Instagram, Cornerstone Childbirth is the handle, and we're going to teach you one of our other favorite mantras. When you move, baby moves. Thank you so much, everyone. See you.
Have a good night, Jen.
Have a great night. Thanks. You too.
Bye.
Bye.